Hey guys, Mike here, Apocalypto. Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 12. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe, please like, please share this episode. We have a lot to talk about today. Today, I would like to talk about a few things. First of all, the Google news about the Willow Quantum Chip, the quantum computer that they released. Pretty cool stuff. I'm not a scientist or a tech guy, but I do like the technology. I like to invest in it. I think it's game-changing stuff. So I want to dive deep a little bit, or dive semi-deep into that. Talk a little bit about some of the broader macro stuff going on in the market, including Bitcoin, of course. Talk about MicroStrategy and then being a part of the QQQ. And I want to do some semi-deep dives into some AI-related projects and AI agent-related projects. This is the Apocalypto channel. We talk about AI, and hopefully AI doesn't actually become apocalyptic, and hopefully, my icons and my marketing isn't actually prophetic. But if it is, my objective is to help you make life-changing gains along the way, and then decide what you want to do with that at the end. First things first, we should probably take a look at Bitcoin, which is now sitting at a price of $101,537. It's up 135% on the year. 1 year, it's up over 10% on the month, and Bitcoin is up 1.7% on the week and up 1.18% on the day. And, the market seems pretty healthy. What's the supply of Bitcoin? It's, the volume is, it's 2.7% 24-hour volume. That's okay. Yeah, that's not bad for Bitcoin. I think that's pretty good. Let's look at some of the market fundamentals. So first of all, the Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 79. It's come down a little bit. I think it was up around 83. I think it got as high as 83 recently. And for those of you who don't know, the Fear and Greed Index is a powerful tool that analyzes market sentiment to help you make informed crypto investment decisions. So essentially, when we're up in the greed zone, which we are now, it's a good time to think about taking profits. And I've talked about in previous episodes about taking profits now or soon. I'm probably going to start taking some profits as we start to head up toward 120,000. And also when some of my alts start hitting kind of all-time highs of recent, the last 3-6 months, we'll start taking some profits there. The other thing to look at is the altcoin season index, which has come down pretty significantly, actually, down to 65. We were up around, I think it was 87 on the December the 4th. So it's come down a lot in the last 10 days. So I don't think I'm going to take profits right now, but I am going to start, if we're back up into the 83 to 87 range of the Fear and Greed, and the altcoin season index goes back up above 80, we'll start thinking about it. And my altcoins also are, approaching recent all-time highs. And then, of course, the other thing that we need to look at is Bitcoin dominance, which is sitting at 55%. That's decent. It's come down from 60, I think it was at, like 59.6 on November the 22nd. So typically when the alt season index goes up and Bitcoin dominance goes down, that's kind of a trigger or a signal that we are into altcoin season. What do you guys think? Are we in altcoin season officially? I think probably we are. I also think, just broadly speaking, the market is not going to do what everyone is talking about, and the market is not going to do what everyone thinks it's going to do. That's always the case. I think there's this, 4-year cycle. There's the Bitcoin halving, and I think there are some macro sort of fundamentals that will remain true as it relates to the halving, as it relates to elections, U.S. elections, which is every 4 years. We had a halving a few months ago, and we had an election last month. So that's all bullish, but I think probably we're going to, hit some all-time highs, and things are going to start to drop again, probably before, people are expecting. So not a very deep fundamental technical analysis. I understand. I apologize. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, do your own research. This is not financial advice. This is an entertainment channel, and, play safe, take profits when you're up enough. So I guess the question is, when is enough? It's never enough. So the big news coming out this week in the tech world is Google and their quantum chip called Willow, which looks like this, maybe. It's a picture of a chip. I'm not sure if it's the Willow chip. So Google tested Willow to see how powerful it was. This is a X post by Kevin Joey Chen, and the task was a problem called random circuit sampling, RCS benchmark. Like, it would have taken a normal binary computer 10 septillion years to solve this problem, which is like 10 to the power of 25, which is 10 with 25 zeros beside it. Let's have a listen to
the random circuit.
I think this might be Hartmut Nevin speaking in this video, but let's take a listen and see what he has to say.
With the random circuit sampling benchmark, the results are pretty surprising. By our best estimates, a calculation that takes Willow under 5 minutes would take the fastest supercomputer 10 to the 25 years. That's a 1 with 25 zeros following it, or a timescale way longer than the age of the universe. This result highlights the exponentially growing gap between classical and quantum computation for certain applications.
So I checked it out, and it's actually it's a way bigger number than the age of the universe. The universe, I think, is like 13.8 billion years old, and so it would be that plus like 15 zeros after, which is nuts. So the number of years of the universe has existed. Yeah, this is talking about that. So what is like quantum computing, and what is quantum computing versus traditional computing? So with traditional computing, you have chips, you have microchips in your computers, and they use bits for computation. And a bit holds information, and this is because it can only be in 2 states, a 0 or a 1, right? It's binary. It's one or the other, a 0 or a 1 state. However, quantum is different. Quantum is like, you got to throw everything out you know about, like, I guess, traditional physics. Not that I'm a physicist or anything like this, but it's just way different. It's like the quantum world. And so with quantum, they use something called qubits, which can exist essentially at the same time in, I think, what's called a superposition for a very brief quantum period of time, but they can exist at the same time. So that allows for the exponential increase in computational power if you can harness the power scientifically. So what makes Willow so special is that it utilizes this physics concept, and they have essentially solved what was a massive roadblock in quantum computing, which was errors. And this error problem in quantum has been happening for over 30 years. But what Google did with Willow is they added more qubits, and this reduces errors instead of increasing them. So organizing qubits into what they call grid, which is what you can see here, reduces errors. So they went from 3 to a 7, grid configuration. And this leads to less errors. And this was sort of the legendary theoretical computer scientist. I didn't know this guy until I did research on this episode, but his name is Peter Shor. He talks about this and how this is how it can potentially solve the quantum problem. So what does this mean to you? What does this mean to your crypto bags? What does this mean, to society and humanity overall? Well, quantum computers, once they actually come on commercially, will be game changers for AI, for smart cities. They will vastly improve airline schedules, more efficient electric vehicle batteries, and autonomous vehicles as well. Accelerated drug discovery, quantum cryptography for super secure communications, which is something actually that a lot of people are talking about. Like, how is this going to affect security within the traditional binary world? And particularly, how is this going to affect Bitcoin security? Like, if this computer is so powerful, it can break binary computers quite easily with just solving exponentially larger problems that are put forward with the traditional consensus mechanism of POC. So anyway, we're a ways off before that is actually going to be an existential threat to the traditional security world and Bitcoin and cryptography security specialists and software companies, Bitcoin companies, crypto companies were already, working on this problem. But Google already said that, we're way far off from commercial applications for this technology. I think they said, what did they say, 2000? And actually, I have the Google article here, which you can read, and I'll leave a link in it. I'll link in the description. But they're quite far off from actually using this in a commercial. And I think the person in charge of Google Quantum AI is Hartmut Hartmut Nevin, and he lives in Malibu and has 5 connections on LinkedIn, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Anyway, that's Google. The next thing I want to talk about is MicroStrategy. They're going to enter the NASDAQ 100 on December the 23rd, which is in a week from now. And the QQQ, which is the 5th largest ETF in the world, buys MicroStrategy to match the index. So this is possibly going to drive the price of MicroStrategy up more, although I personally think that pricing is already baked into MSTR right now. And MSTR is going to weigh in on the NASDAQ 100 because everyone who owns, all those big institutional funds that own NASDAQ 100 ETFs are going to have to start buying MicroStrategy. I mean, it's an absolutely brilliant strategy by Michael Saylor in that sense. Here are the highest fund asset class organizations: SPDR, Vanguard, iShares, Vanguard Total Market, and Invesco QQQ. And you can see their fund asset worth in millions of USD. So it's interesting. Do you think it's a good time to buy MicroStrategy? What is the price now? It's up in the last 6 months. MicroStrategy is up 180%. So do you think it's a good time to buy MicroStrategy, or is MicroStrategy overheated? And also, do you think MicroStrategy could be like the next sort of FTX type catalyst for a black swan event? There's a lot of talk out there how like MicroStrategy is making Bitcoin centralized, not decentralized. And if he stops buying, what does that do to the price action of Bitcoin? Next, top AI ecosystem coins by social activity. So I've talked about a lot of these projects in previous episodes, but you can look at them here: Tau, Render, FET, Near, Qubic. I'm going to talk about Qubic in this episode in a few moments. Odai, PAL, talked about PAL in a previous episode. DEAI, which had a big drop recently. I bought some bags there. So these are the most talked about projects on social, I guess social being X, and TikTok, Instagram. I don't really use Instagram for crypto. Does anyone use? I got a couple of mates that send me crypto Instagram posts, but I don't use Instagram for crypto. I use Instagram for music and travel and other nefarious things that I can't talk about on this channel. But getting back to AI, Tau is like a beast, number one AI project out there. I love it. I love Tau. I own Tau, and I did a whole episode on Tau. Please go check that out and like that episode. I think it's my number 1 episode, by the way. Thank you very much. Again, I'd like to ask you to please like and subscribe to my channel because I'm just getting started. I love doing this content for you. I have a day job. It's Saturday night here in Asia, but I'm bringing crypto love and AI alpha to you because I just love doing this stuff. So, the more likes you give me, the more the more likes you give me, the more motivation I get to do episodes and bring you alpha. So Render is another great GPU render project related to AI. FET is probably the number 2 AI project out there, if not the number 1. Near is a layer 1 AI project, which is very interesting. Qubic we're going to talk about, and the rest you can look at on your own because I'm going to move on. DeFi is making a big comeback. Stablecoin supply is at all-time high. I don't know if you've seen the stablecoin supply recently, but USDT is at an all-time high. That's very bullish because Tether needs to print USDT so people can use it to buy their projects. It's probably a big Ponzi and could bring down the whole market, but for now it's going to help pump our bags. Total DEX volume is surging, so DEX on all layer 1s are surging. DEX to SEX ratio is nearing all-time high. DeFi flipped memes in Mindshare. That is very interesting, right? Because it was all about memes in the first half of the year. Now it's all about AI, which I'm really stoked about. And DeFi is coming back for sure. I mean, DeFi is not a flash in the pan. It's not a meme. It's not a trend. It's a legit thing. There's finance, and then there's decentralized finance, and decentralized finance sits on blockchain layer 1 technology. It's like the foundational architecture of most blockchain projects, including Ethereum, Solana, Sui, Bitcoin. So it's time to make utility coins great again. I agree. Let's get back into some utility. I'm not really into memes so much. Listen, I love memes. I own memes. I invest in memes. I've done a meme episode, and I will do another meme episode. Memes are fun, but let's face reality. Utility blockchain projects, AI blockchain projects is where the action, and where it's, the long-term sustainable growth is really going to happen. The other one that is coming back, is Ethereum. So active Ethereum addresses are up 4.24%. Very interesting. New addresses up 2.65%, and balance addresses down. So Ethereum was making a huge comeback. Everyone said it was dead, but with DeFi coming back and with all of these new AI projects and everything else coming back online, like the Ethereum ecosystem is really surging. Okay, so that's it for the macro news and insights and a semi deep dive into the Google news. Next, we are going to jump into some specific projects, AI related projects. The first project I want to talk about today is Spectral, which is ticker SPEC. Spectral is, I think I actually talked about this in a previous episode, but it is an AI agent platform, and it allows for the simplification of decentralized applications through autonomous on-chain agents. So this is where the sort of AI agent part comes in. So autonomous on-chain agent syntax, is their flagship product, and it translates natural language into Solidity code. So you can maybe do a prompt, and it will actually, the LLM will convert that natural language, your language, into Solidity code, which is the de facto programming language for smart contracts. And that enables novices and experts to build on the blockchain effortlessly. So this is kind of also related to low code, which I've talked about a lot. I'm a huge low code convergence into AI enthusiast. And Spectral's kind of in this space. Let's take a look at the website, see what they have to say. And I think we did. Please leave a comment if you think that I talked about Spectral in a previous episode. I'll have to go back and check. Apologies if I did, but I'm going to go through some new information here. So autonomous AI agents is really kind of at the heart of what Spectral does, and allows you to, like it's doing, create prompts to convert into Solidity, to design, deploy, and maintain DApps, decentralized applications on the blockchain for trading, for all sorts of applications. Let's just scroll down here. So their autonomous agents are really interesting because, they're 24/7. If we look at a basic explanation of what an autonomous AI agent is, and in the context of crypto, they're essentially autonomous AI powered agents. And they operate within the confines of the blockchain, but they don't just passively provide information. They're given instructions, and then they actively take action according to those instructions, those prompts or predefined rules. And they go out and they do things. So they make decisions based on your prompts. They analyze data, which is a lot about which is what Spectral is really all about. And they can actually execute on things as well, including trading. And so you don't need to micromanage this stuff. You can just create an agent, give it some instructions, give it a prompt, and it gets on with things. And then you can go and do other stuff. Spectral has cool integrations. It's a self-sustaining ecosystem. They've got some interesting partnerships here. For looking at the tokenomics of Spectral, it's at a price of $15.11. It's up not much in the last week. It's up 41% on the month and 146% on the year. Spectral has a market cap of 213 million, an FDV of 1.51 billion. So the spread there is pretty high, and a total supply of 100 million, which is quite low. Where can you buy Spectral? Always a good thing to know. Well, I'm glad you asked that question. You can buy Spectral on all sorts of interesting exchanges, including the DEX Uniswap and MEXC. So yeah, that's where you can buy it. And let's move on. Next, I'd like to talk about Qubic, which I alluded to earlier in the episode. What is Qubic? First of all, I'm going to kind of do an about, and then the tech, and then we'll jump into the tokenomics. But Qubic is a decentralized layer 1 network, which is very aligned with artificial intelligence, or AI, or AGI. And Qubic was built from the ground up to service AI applications. And so in terms of what they have for their technology, they have something called a quorum consensus, which is inspired by Leslie Laporte-Byzantine's fault tolerance Qubic's quorum design, and it ensures security and resilience even if some nodes fail. So they have, I'll show you the website and then I'll explain it. So they have a blockchain, and they use what's called powered by useful proof of work consensus. And it's a decentralized blockchain, and you can build AI applications on top of it. And they use what's called a QBC. I have a couple of friends where I live that will laugh when they hear that terminology, QBC. But actually, within the confines of or the prism of Qubic, it stands for quorum-based computation. And looking at the numbers, Qubic is really cool. It's a really cool, undervalued project, I think. They have 88,000 community members. It's a very active Discord. They did a fair launch, so no VCs involved there. over 500,000 miners. Their mainnet went live Q2 2022, so over 2 years ago. So that's really good because it's fully operational. It's a production grade layer 1 with a mainnet. They have 55 million smart contract transfers per second. That's really fast. And 10.5 trillion Qubic burned in 3 smart contract IPOs so far. I guess that makes the IPO model deflationary. And they have 676 dynamic assembly of computers, which are validators for decentralization. So that's actually referred to in the Qubic world as the Quorum Protocol, which is their 676 computers put together to create a decentralized governance for executing smart contracts. And I don't think they're up to 676 now. I think they're over 400, but eventually they'll max out at that amount. They also use Oracle machines, which make their smart contracts even smarter by resolving events through trustworthy data such as stock prices, sports scores, sensor readings. These are some of the real world applications. And then the AI layer aspect to Qubic is something called AI Garth, which I guess is like their AI agent, so to speak. And AI Garth is powered by a network of miners or validators, and it evolves by creating billions of artificial neural networks, ANNs. And AI Garth is building the future of AI, decentralized and open for everyone. And Agarth is a layer that is sitting on top of the Qubic useful proof of work consensus mechanism. So let's look at the tokenomics of Qubic now. Qubic it's hard to even understand that price, but it's 0.00000, I think, like 5 zeros, and it's a ridiculous price. It's at the market cap's better. It's at a market cap of 500 million and an FDV of 800 million, very healthy spread, and I think that's related to the fact that it was a fair launch and not a lot of VCs involved. In the last day, it's up 3%. In the last 7 days, it's hardly up. In the last month, it's up 145%. On the year, it's up 60%. So, I think actually Qubic is potentially vastly undervalued. I've been looking at Qubic for a while. I think I might take a position if Bitcoin comes down, if the alts come down, if the altcoin season index comes down. I'm definitely looking at it. I mean, I don't know where I'll enter. I think the 0.0, let's just call it 15. Now it's at, I don't even know how to read this. If it comes down like 20-30%, I will probably take a position. Where can you buy Qubic? Great question. You can buy Qubic on Gate.io, MEXC, SafeTrade, and lots of other nefarious and dodgy centralized exchanges. Do you like Qubic? Do you own Qubic? What is your opinion of Qubic, and where do you see Qubic going in the next 3 to 6 months? Please let me know. Leave your comments. I'm always interested in your feedback. Next, we have, I don't know how to pronounce this exactly, but AIOZ network. Let's call it AIOZ because it's kind of AI and Wizard of Oz. Anyway, AIOZ, what is it? It's a network. It's a DePIN project, very much in the DePIN space. And for those of you who aren't aware of what DePIN is, it's decentralized infrastructure. What does DePIN stand for? DePIN is decentralized physical infrastructure. And so the AIOZ network is a DePIN project, and they have a decentralized network for compute. So I think the main product for AIs is DePIN. So we'll quickly jump into that section here. So make your computer work for you. So they have a decentralized network, and you can join the network. You can start a node. They have over 200,000 nodes on the network now, 24 million data file batches, a lot of data delivery. I'm not even going to try and read that number. And so you can turn your computer into a node, and then the network can take advantage of the compute power of your network and distribute that in a decentralized way across the blockchain for compute power. Now, why is DePIN interesting? Well, it's mainly because of AI and the exponential growth of AI recently, AI agents. Like a GPT, I read, takes up like 3 or 4x more compute power than a traditional Google query. So it's like 3x exponentially more compute power is required. So imagine how much compute power is going to be required when video comes online, and AI agents for video and 3D and like the true metaverse. It's insane. We won't have enough data centers. We just won't have enough computers. NVIDIA is not going to be able to keep up. So what the solution is this and decentralization. And AIOZ is sorry if I'm getting this name, if I'm murdering the name, is part of this narrative, which is a big one. And they are, helping to solve this AI big data problem, I guess we could call it. This is the white paper. It's pretty long. Well, it's not that long actually, but it's relatively complex. I haven't actually read through the whole thing, but as you can see, they have some maths problems. Any white paper that has like these legit, like crazy maths problems always, gets me out of bed in the morning. But I'll leave a link to this white paper and you can take a look. And they have a developer section as well, which always is really gives me confidence, because it's a developer centric project, and they've got like a GitHub, and they've got a wallet, they've got APIs, they've got a code editor. I think that's kind of really like allows for low code and people who aren't developers to get in there and fool around with the tools. So let's look. Did we look at we looked at no, we haven't. Okay, so let's look at the tokenomics for AIOZ network. So it's sitting at a price of $1.11. It's up. I'm just going to stop saying it. The AIOZ network is up 2.42% on the day. It's up. Internet issues. I'm making up a song as load the data. I'm making up a song as load the data. My internet goes down every once in a while, at which point I think it's probably a prudent time to tell a joke. So I'm going to tell a joke this time. The snail walks into the bar, looks up, and the bartender looks down, and the snail looks up. It's been a long day's work, and the snail wants a beer. He says, "Bartender, I'll have a large draft beer." The bartender looks at the snail, walks around the bar up to the snail. Can't see my foot right now, but the bartender kicks the snail all the way across the street. 1 year passes. 1 year, one full year. The same bartender's clean glasses behind the bar, looks down, sees the snail, the exact same snail 1 year later. Snail looks up and says, "What the fuck?" Okay, before you lambast me for telling the worst joke of the year, it's good news. My internet is back. How many crypto influencers tell you incredible jokes when their internet goes down? There's probably not that many. All right, where were you? Up on the month 52% and up on the year 600%. That is amazing. That is impressive. That is an indication that this project has got price action, which I bought. I don't own AIOZ, and this is a really good project. And looking at the tokenomics, it has a market cap of 1.27 bill, FDV of 1.27 bill. That's really good. Like no spread at all. Total supply of 1.1 billion, a little bit high. Volume of 15 million on 1.2. That's low. And that's probably because of the exchanges. What I'm saying is the volume's low because it's probably not on a lot of exchanges. Oh, it's on Coinbase. Why is the volume so low on AIOZ? Can somebody please answer me that in the comment section? Because you can get it on Coinbase actually, and KuCoin. And I'll be back with another episode soon. Please tune in for that one. It's going to be pure rock and roll. And again, please subscribe to my channel, like my channel, share my channel, tell my friends about your channel. My name is Mike, and this is Apocalypto. Peace out. Bye for now.